What if I told you that the reason you're exhausted, anxious, and unproductive has nothing to do with your morning routine? What if everything you've been trying to fix about your life could actually be solved by what you do tonight, in the next few hours, before you go to sleep? See, you've been lied to. You think success starts when you wake up. Wrong. It starts when you go to bed. And right now, as you're watching this, you're probably making the exact mistakes that are sabotaging tomorrow before it even begins. Your phone is next to you. You're going to scroll for another hour. You'll collapse into bed exhausted, sleep terribly, and wake up hitting snooze 6 times wondering why you feel like garbage. But here's the thing. There's an ancient night routine that's been practiced for over 1,400 years, and modern science is now proving why it works. It's not complicated, it's not expensive, but it will completely transform how you sleep and how you show up in your life. So here's what we're going to do. For the next few minutes, I'm going to break down exactly what this routine is, why it works, and how you can start using it tonight. Not next week, tonight. Because your tomorrow depends on what you do right now. So stay with me. This could be the thing that finally changes everything. Listen, you know what most people do wrong? They treat bedtime like it's just the moment they collapse into bed, exhausted. But here's what you need to understand. Intention setting before sleep is one of the most powerful tools you have for transforming your mental state, and it's backed by science. When you intentionally pause before bed to reflect on your day and express gratitude, you're literally rewiring your brain's neural pathways. Your brain doesn't shut off when you sleep. It processes, it consolidates memories, it works through emotions. So what you feed it right before you drift off matters enormously. Think about it this way. If the last thing you do is scroll through social media or replay every mistake you made that day, guess what your subconscious is going to marinate in for 8 hours? That negativity, that comparison, that anxiety. But when you deliberately take 3 minutes to acknowledge what went well, to express gratitude for specific moments or people, to reflect on lessons learned, you're giving your brain entirely different material to work with. Studies in positive psychology show that gratitude practices before bed reduce rumination, lower cortisol levels, and improve sleep quality. You're essentially telling your nervous system it's safe to stand down. This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending problems don't exist. It's about choosing to end your day from a place of awareness rather than autopilot. The prophetic tradition understood this centuries ago, ending the day with specific reflections and supplications. Acknowledge, honor it. Set your alarm, put your phone in another room, and get yourself to bed. Your productivity, your mood, your health, everything improves when you stop treating sleep like an inconvenience and start treating it like the performance enhancer. It actually is. Here's what's wild. Something as simple as which side you sleep on can actually impact your health in measurable ways. And this was recommended in the prophetic tradition over 1,000 years before we had the medical technology to understand why. The practice was to sleep on your right side with your right hand placed under your cheek. Most people think sleep position doesn't matter, that it's just about comfort. Wrong. Your sleep position affects everything from your digestion to your heart function to how well you breathe, and the science is actually pretty clear on this. Let's start with your digestive system. Your stomach and pancreas hang naturally on the left side of your body. When you sleep on your right side, gravity helps stomach acid stay where it belongs instead of creeping up into your esophagus. This is why doctors specifically recommend right-side sleeping for people with acid reflux or GERD. You're working with your anatomy instead of against it. Then there's your heart. Your heart sits slightly left of center in your chest. When you sleep on your right side, you're reducing the pressure and compression on your heart, allowing it to function more efficiently throughout the night. Some studies suggest that left-side sleeping can trigger more nighttime arrhythmias in certain people because of this compression effect. Cardiologists have observed that patients with congestive heart failure often instinctively avoid left-side sleeping because it causes discomfort. Your body knows. Now let's talk about your lymphatic system. The left side of your body is dominant for lymphatic drainage. When you sleep on your right side, you're facilitating the natural flow of lymph fluid toward the left side where it can be processed and filtered more effectively. This supports your immune function and helps your body remove toxins and waste while you sleep. Even your breathing can improve. For many people, right-side sleeping opens up the airways better than other positions, reducing snoring and improving oxygen intake throughout the night. And here's something most people don't consider. The hand under cheek position isn't just quaint. It naturally keeps your spine and neck in better alignment than stomach sleeping or awkward twisted positions. It's a gentle, stable posture that reduces strain. The point is this: you're going to spend roughly a third of your life sleeping. Why wouldn't you optimize that position? Try it tonight. Right side, hand under your cheek, and pay attention to how you feel in the morning. Your body will tell you the difference. Let me tell you something that's going to sting. Your phone is destroying your sleep and you know it, but you keep scrolling anyway. Every single night, millions of people lie in bed bathed in blue light, doom scrolling through social media, watching just one more video, checking just one more email, and then they wonder why they can't fall asleep or why they wake up feeling like garbage. Here's what's actually happening in your brain. That screen you're staring at emits blue light that directly suppresses melatonin production. Melatonin is the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. When you're scrolling at 10 p.m., you're literally sending your brain the signal that it's the middle of the day. You're confusing your entire biological system. But it's not just the light, it's the content. Social media is engineered to keep you activated, to trigger your dopamine system, to make you feel something, whether that's outrage, envy, amusement, or anxiety. Your nervous system gets ramped up right when it should be winding down. You're putting your brain into fight or flight mode and then expecting it to peacefully drift into restorative sleep. It doesn't work that way. The prophetic night routine included a complete disconnection from stimulation before bed. Instead of input, there was output, reflection, gratitude, quiet supplication, mental processing of the day. This isn't religious mumbo-jumbo, this is basic sleep hygiene that modern science keeps trying to teach us. Sleep experts universally recommend a digital detox at least 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Put the phone in another room, not on your nightstand where you can grab it, in another room entirely. Replace that scrolling time with something that actually prepares your mind for rest. Journal for 5 minutes. Read something physical, an actual book. Sit in stillness and just breathe. Process your thoughts instead of numbing them with content consumption. What you're doing when you disconnect is giving your brain permission to transition. You're creating a boundary between the chaos of your day and the sanctuary of your sleep. Most people never give themselves this buffer, so they carry all the stress, all the information overload, all the emotional residue straight into bed with them. Then they toss and turn for an hour wondering what's wrong. What's wrong is you never close the loop on your day. Tonight, try something radical. Phone goes away at 9 p.m. See what happens when you give your mind actual quiet time before sleep. You know what most people completely miss? The power of ritual. Not just any ritual, but a physical reset ritual that signals to your entire body and mind that the day is over and it's time to transition into rest. In the prophetic tradition, this was the practice of performing ablution before bed, washing the hands, face, arms, and feet with cool water. Now, before you tune out thinking this is just a religious practice, stay with me because the psychology and physiology here are fascinating. Think about what's actually happening when you perform this kind of intentional washing routine before sleep. First, there's the physical component. Cool water on your skin activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode that counteracts your stress response. It literally lowers your heart rate and blood pressure. Athletes use cold water therapy for recovery. The same principle applies here, but in a gentler, more accessible way. You're using temperature and sensation to shift your physiological state. Then there's the psychological aspect, and this is huge. When you have a consistent pre-sleep ritual, you're creating what behavioral scientists call a behavioral chain. Your brain learns the sequence, water, washing, these specific movements, and it knows what comes next. Sleep. You're programming your mind through repetition. It's classical conditioning, the same way Pavlov's dogs learn to salivate at the sound of a bell. Your body learns to prepare for sleep when you start this ritual. But here's what I think is most powerful. The ablution acts as a closing ceremony for your day. You're literally washing away the day, the stress, the interactions, the energy you picked up from other people. It's a symbolic and physical act of release. Most people carry everything from their day straight into bed, their muscles still tense, their mind still racing, their energy still scattered. This ritual gives you a moment to consciously let it all go. There's also something profound about the mindfulness required. You can't rush through washing your face and arms and feet while scrolling your phone. It demands your presence. For 2 or 3 minutes, you're forced to slow down, to be with yourself, to perform deliberate movements. In our hyper-connected, always-on world, that's radical. It's a micro-meditation disguised as hygiene. The specific tradition doesn't matter as much as the principle. Create a physical ritual that marks the end of your day and prepares your body for rest. It could be this ablution practice. It could be a warm shower. It could be stretching. What matters is consistency and intention. Here's the truth bomb. Nobody wants to hear. You think your morning starts when your alarm goes off, but your morning actually starts the night before. Every single choice you make in the hours before bed is either setting you up for success or sabotaging you before you even open your eyes. This is the part where people get it completely backwards. They focus obsessively on morning routines, wake up at 5 a.m., cold showers, journaling, all of that, but then they stay up until midnight eating junk food and scrolling through their phone. You can't hack your way out of a terrible night routine with coffee and willpower. It doesn't work. When you go to bed at a reasonable hour, you're giving yourself the gift of waking up naturally or close to it. Your body completes its sleep cycles. You wake up in a lighter sleep stage instead of being ripped out of deep sleep by an alarm, which is why you feel groggy and disoriented. That morning clarity everyone chases, it comes from quality sleep the night before. When you do that pre-sleep reflection and gratitude practice, you're priming your subconscious to process things overnight. You ever notice how problems that seemed impossible at night suddenly have solutions in the morning? That's not magic, that's your brain working through things during sleep. When you give it the right inputs before bed, you wake up with better outputs. When you sleep on your right side in proper alignment, you wake up without that stiff neck or back pain that makes you cranky and unproductive. When you disconnect from screens and do that physical reset ritual, your sleep quality improves dramatically, which means you wake up actually rested instead of hitting snooze 6 times. When you honor your circadian rhythm by sleeping early, you naturally wake earlier, feeling energized, instead of dragging yourself out of bed in a fog. See how this works? Your night routine is the foundation. Everything else is built on top of it. People spend hundreds of dollars on supplements, fancy alarm clocks, productivity apps trying to optimize their mornings when the real optimization happens the night before and costs exactly $0. It just requires discipline and intentionality. The 5-second rule applies here. When it's time for bed, you count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you move. No negotiations, no just one more episode. You go to bed because you respect yourself enough to invest in tomorrow's success today. Your future self, the one who wakes up clear-headed and ready, is counting on the choices you make tonight. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Everything I just shared with you, all these practices, the early sleep, the right side position, the digital detox, the physical reset ritual, the intention setting, none of it matters if you don't actually do it. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. You can nod your head, agree with everything, think, yeah, that makes sense, and then go right back to scrolling until midnight. Or you can decide right now that tonight is different. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to implement all of this at once. Just pick one thing. Maybe tonight you put your phone in another room. Maybe you try sleeping on your right side. Maybe you take 2 minutes before bed to reflect on what went well today. Start there. Build from there. Because here's what I know for sure. Your sleep is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the foundation of everything else you're trying to accomplish. Your health, your relationships, your work, your mood, all of it starts with how you rest. So tonight, I want you to honor yourself enough to close your day with intention. You deserve rest. You deserve to wake up feeling alive. And it all starts with the choices you make in these next few hours. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for being open to changing something that could change everything. I believe in you. Now go get some sleep, the right way. Good luck, and I mean that. You've got this.